Hi, my name's Chris and we are JCD. In this week's episode, I'm unblocking drains, surveying drains and cleaning drains. Let's jump in to episode 3. Good morning, team JCD. It is Monday morning. Time is around 8:45. Today I am out on grey water drainage. For those of you that don't know or are new to the channel, we have a sister company which is a drainage company, and we haven't been putting a lot of content out related to grey water. We are quite fortunate that JCD is the main breadwinner for most of the people in our business, so grey water at times can take a little bit of a backward step. So we've got a few drainage jobs. We're short laboured on the drainage side of things. So I'm going to be spending the day doing some jobs on grey water drainage. So I'm at the first now, which is over in Sevenoaks. We have been to this particular contract before. They've had some reoccurring blockages, so I tend to know what the issue is here. So we're going to jump around. The rest of today, we have got drainage jobs all day. I'm going to take you around. James is out on the tanker doing another 2 jobs. We've sort of backed them up into one day. So let's get going here and see what we can do for the customer. And then we're going to head over to Dartford where we've got a domestic blockage to sort out. So let's get going. As mentioned with this one, guys, I have been here on a couple of occasions. There seems to be a reoccurring blockage, and I think that is down to generally what they produce here tends to end up down in the drains. Unfortunately, not uncommon, keeps us employed. So I know how this particular one runs. It is a regular issue, and it's nothing to do with the lie of the land. We've surveyed this particular site. It is more about how the site is used as opposed to the setup that's here. So it's nothing that can be avoided unless they stop production at this particular factory and use the drains in a correct manner, or put something in place to stop certain aspects of their product getting into the drains. But a quick fix, we've been on site around 15 minutes and we've cleared the blockage. I'm going to go and have a chat with the customer just to give him a bit of an update, tell him we've done what we need to do. I'll put a camera down there just to double check everything. Morning, boss. How are you? Not getting there. Look, see that? That's why it's blocking, right? Because that bit at the top there, that services this line, right? So this is where that one that's overflowed, that runs along here into this one, and then it drops into this line where that water's leaking at the top there. See that? At 12 o'clock. And that is right in the middle of both. So I need to try and manoeuvre it out, to be honest.
What is that?
That's a plunger.
What is it?
Someone's had a go at blocking it. It's a plunger.
That's that plunger.
It's a plunger, yeah. I could dig it out and take it out, yeah, but probably the quickest way, be honest. Or I could fiddle about with it. I will get it eventually, but might take me 10 minutes, might take me 10 hours.
Many hours later.
So just finished at the first job. It actually turned out to be a real pain in the arse. This particular client of ours has had another contractor out on a couple of occasions, a national contractor who shall remain nameless. we come here a few months ago and it was blocked, and they've had a couple of reoccurring blockages since. I cameraed down a separate line and we have found what appears to be a drainage plunger. Now, that's a pain in the arse in itself, but this particular one was actually a 6-inch plunger in a 4-inch line, which is a real headache. And to get out, the customer said just get it out because I don't want to keep having, they'd spent a fortune with this national contractor and they've spent a couple of quid with us on a couple of visits. So he told me to get it out. It's now 11:30, so it's taken me nearly 4 hours to get this bung out, but it's out, so that's a plus. Real pain in the arse job. I am going to have to go home and shower. I need a complete change of clothes. So I'm going to go home now, have a shower, and then I am going to head over to that domestic job in Dartford. Typical drainage day. This is why we tell customers you never know how long a drainage job is going to take. What turned out to be a 15-minute unblock has now turned into a 4-hour plunger retrieval, but we got there in the end. So happy Monday. Let's go home, get changed, and then we're going to head over to Dartford. So, quick shower. I am now at a job in Dartford. I believe this client has just built a new extension and they seem to be having an issue with their new extension bathroom. So we'll give the client a knock and see what is going on. Hello, come to have a look at your toilet upstairs.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
No problem. So the customer has mentioned that the toilet is filling when she presses it. Like so. There is a manhole in the back garden, which is downstairs. And we can see here, there is clearly a blockage. So we'll get the rods down there and see what we can sort out. Right, your toilet flows out of there. Right. This bit here, look.
Okay.
Right here. This is full of concrete or granite dust or whatever they've done.
Right.
So they've obviously been washing their tools out in the bathroom or down the sink or whatever, and it's gone rock hard.
Oh, no.
All right, so I will do what I can, clear it. All right, so leave it with me, but if you can ask them when, well, hopefully they're finished now.
No, they've
Don't,
got to come back to do some other bits.
don't wash their tools out in the sink.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, gosh.
All right?
Thanks for that.
That's all right. So I've just managed to get that blockage clear. It was actually a build-up of scale, fat, oil, grease in the drain line. This is usually caused by dishwasher tablets, things like that, but there was quite a bit of it, but we've cleared it now. It's all flowing, toilet's all flowing. One thing I've noticed today, and apologies for the lack of filming, doing drainage jobs while I was on my own is ultra difficult. So yeah. But it's just one of those things, you know, we're trying to take you guys along the day-to-day journey, and unfortunately sometimes this is the day. Now I have another couple of drainage jobs to go and do. I'm not going to take you guys along with me. Tomorrow I have a day of surveying all day on grey water drainage, so I'll take you guys along for that. That's a little bit simpler to do, so I won't have to try and juggle all the tools and you guys along with me. So that's going to wrap up Monday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we've got a little bit more of business as usual. We've got some back of house stuff to do. We'll be filming some content with Adam, and hopefully the day will run a little smoother. That's going to check out Monday, and I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning. So team, It is Tuesday morning. We are up in Hook, which is around 70 miles away from JCD HQ in Sittingbourne. This is for a new customer of ours that we acquired through a recommendation of a colleague of mine from another business. So we're meeting the managing director, Chris, up on this particular site. We're on a private estate, very nice as well. And we have got a full survey to do of all the drain lines here. So I'm going to be here all day on my own, surveying these lines and seeing what condition they're in. Hopefully they're in a good state of repair, but if they're not, we'll make recommendations for any repair work or any remedial work that goes on. So I've got my boots on, just waiting for Chris, and then we're going to get going. So we're around halfway through surveying this estate, new build estate, 2 years old roughly. There are a couple of houses that have reported when they get rainpour of any denomination, so whether it's light, heavy, they get flooding that's going into their garage. Now we've done a survey of most of the storm drains on site. Usually the first couple of manholes are a telltale sign of what the rest of the site is going to be like, and lifting two of the covers up down the road there, I could tell that this wasn't an issue with the actual drain lines themselves and then them not being capable of taking the load away. I think this is more a design issue in terms of this road runs downhill and then the other way it comes back into a point, and the drainage at that point is not sufficient to take away the load. So we're going to carry on surveying the lines, but I think this is more a design issue than it is actual capability of the drains taking it away. But we'll carry on surveying and see what we can find. So we have finished surveying this particular site. As I mentioned earlier on in my update, I don't think this is an issue with actual drain volume enabled to take the water away. Moreover, it's an issue with the lie of the land. So we have a piece that goes uphill here, like so, and this flows down the road where we have a storm drain on our left-hand side, which is just over there, here, and we have another one here. The problem is in the middle, which is this area to my left. So this area here, as you can see by the curbs, there is no drain. There is none. So we're having water flowing off from this direction. It's coming from here. And then also this back area, that is downhill. This area is downhill as well. So all the water sort of flowing here. You can see that a contractor has put an ACO drain in here to try and take some of the load away, but it's not sufficient. We do have two storm drains back further there, but again, so it's probably not enough. So what we're going to recommend is that we put some ACO drainage at the front of these property here, and also the one next door, excuse me, because this one has already got some, and then in this area here and here we'll put a storm drain that will go into that manhole there, which is a soakaway. So not a drainage issue per se in terms of actually the drains are not sufficient to take the load. It's more of an issue with the design and the groundworks to this particular site. So we'll make the recommendations that all the lines have been surveyed. We've checked the stormwater and the foul, and they all seem to be in good working condition. Nothing that I wouldn't expect to see in a development this old, 2 years old. So we'll make some recommendations, and then it will be over to a groundwork company to do. That was not something we will get involved in on this particular project. So, as I mentioned, I'm here all day. I'm quite far away from the office. So that's going to wrap up Tuesday. Tomorrow I am shooting some content with Adam, and I've got some more drainage jobs to get around. So that wraps up Tuesday, and I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning. Good morning team, nice and early Wednesday morning. We are down in Folkestone, Kent. We have a job down here where we regularly carry out a descale to the back of the toilets. This is a heavy used public area. Lots of people passing through this particular place, especially the gents. The toilets here get some real abuse. So what we do on a quarterly basis, we come down and we descale of uric acid, etc., all the backs of the toilets, because then that opens up the line and then it negates any blockages. So we come down to do that today. I'm down here in the morning, and then I've got a couple of jobs to go and look at this afternoon, which I'll take you guys along. So let's get our kit on and get the tools out and get going at this particular job. Funny story for you guys, yesterday I opened up a soakaway, a large soakaway for the site we was at yesterday. And I was looking in there and I heard a bloop and quickly established that my grey water drainage phone had fell out the pocket as it was over my overalls. Luckily it wasn't my main phone, because that would have been a real headache. This one is particularly for grey water drainage. It's an old phone. It has nothing on it, so that was okay. But yes, I've had to order a replacement, and that's not the first phone I've ever lost down the drain. So. Let me show you guys what tools we would use on a particular job like this. Oh, it's a bit dark in the van. Let the light adjust. So we've got our rigid flex shafts here. The one on this side here is a 204. That is used for drains that are 4 inches and above. And the one here is a 102, which is for smaller diameter pipes like kitchen pipes. And then in this bag here, we have, if I can open it, chains for descaling. So these will go down the line. See, they've got very sharp blades on them that spins round in the drain and basically takes all the scale off the wall. I've also got another one here, which when it spins, it opens out into a shape like that, which is perfect to the diameter of the drains. So we'll obviously have a camera behind it so we can see what we're doing. So let's get the kit out and we'll get inside and get going. So, little update of how it's going, guys. We've finished most of the gents' toilets now, so I'll take you guys inside. So we've got these toilets along here and the main bank here. Manhole. So what we're doing is descaling, taking off the backs of the toilets. So we take these off. We'll take them all off, get to the stacks, and we access it from the manhole here. And there's also another one here. We'll use our camera, goes along, and then we'll also use our chain knocker, which goes along. Effectively, it opens up to 4 inch, which is the diameter of the pipe, and it just basically churns all the scale off. This particular site is a very, very busy site, so there's lots of people coming through. I'll spin you guys around again, move you down. I mean, you can see the amount of scale comes through in these particular ones. So, making good progress. The amount of scale that's coming off is good, what we want to see, and it's all going to plan. So we'll carry on descaling them, and then we've got the ladies to do, and then we're going to head over to a job in Sittingbourne to have a look at, which is an ACO drain that needs clearing out, but all going to plan. So that's going to wrap up our work in Folkestone. I am going to jump back in the van now and I'm heading over to near HQ in Sittingbourne to have a look at another drainage job where the gentleman has got some Acco drain that is blocked in a car garage. So let's jump in the van and head over to Sittingbourne.
Price is little, and sometimes even littler, and everything from
Just $29.99 up front. It's worth every penny. $24.99 for 25 times supply.
So we have just arrived at a nice and local car garage to us in Sittingbourne. They have had an issue with their car wash bay. The drains around it, there is Acco drainage around this car wash bay. It keeps getting blocked up, obviously all the dirt that's come off the cars, etc. So what we're going to do, we're going to clear the blockage for them so it's all flowing okay, and then we're going to give it a good clear out so there's all mud, it's gone, it's nice and fresh, ready for these guys to use. So let's jump in, get the stuff out of the van and get going. So we've managed to clear the blockage, which is the first step in this process. So as you can see, it's all draining away now. Along here. The next step now will be we will clean out all the Acco drains, get rid of all the mud, just make sure it's nice and clear, ready for the customer so they don't have any reoccurring blockages. So I'm going to put you guys back in the van as it's just started raining. I'm going to clear this out and I'll show you what it looks like after. So this particular job is finished. We have cleared out all the drainage. The guy has now asked for a quote for the oil interceptors that are in front of this Acco drainage. So the drains run into 3 interceptors that are then are gravity fed. So when the silt will drop down to the bottom, the water will get to a certain point and that flows away without all the silt in it, so it stops it getting into the main lines. So we'll give the customer a quote to empty that out, but this is all done now, so I'll show you guys what we have done. So all this Acco drain has been cleared out, as you can see. And then what happens is it comes to a main outlet here. Here, and in this bottom left hand corner there will be a U-bend, and then that will go into these 3 drains here, and they, as I mentioned, they will be gravity fed drains, so there will be a pipe 3/4 of the way up, and then the water will get to a certain level, it flows away into the road and then it leaves all the silt and debris behind. But what happens is every now and then those drains and these interceptors will need emptying, so we'll give the customer a quote for that. That wraps up Wednesday, guys. I was meant to be filming with Adam today, but unfortunately not everything goes to plan when you're running a business, so we will be catching up tomorrow with Adam, filming a few bits and pieces in the office, and then Friday, as I always mention on the channel, we like to keep that nice and free, ready for any admin or any ad hoc bits and pieces that have come up. I know I've got a job to go and look at on Friday. So that concludes Wednesday, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the morning for Thursday. Thursday morning. It hasn't gone to plan. I was meant to be seeing Adam today. Unfortunately, I've had to kick him over to tomorrow morning. I'll have a catch up with Adam tomorrow. That's why I generally keep Friday free. Since last night, the heavens have opened up. It has been non-stop rain, which has increase the amount of drainage calls we have. So I am actually on the way back home to go and pick up the drainage van. So a little bit of a backstory for the drainage. We started that around 3 years ago. Now we've obviously got JCD Cleaning. You see the types of contracts we have with that. We have over 100 staff across Kent, London and the South East. And that is our main breadwinner, shall we say. We started grey water drainage, me, and James, my brother, and to be honest with you, it's been a little bit up and down. Now we're fortunate enough that we can sort of turn that on and off as we need to, but I haven't really in the past couple of years, to be honest, give it the focus that it probably needs to really get it going, and it's still heavily reliant on myself and James. And I keep saying to myself, I'm going to give it a real good run. You know, you've got to be committed to these things to really get it going. I say it all the time, you know, success is a simple maths equation. It's, you know, consistency, hard work over a long period of time equals the result. And I feel like I haven't really given Grey Water that. I had JCD in the early days, and look where we are. You know, we're growing nice and steadily. So I keep saying to myself, I'm going to give a real run at Grey Water and get it to a size where we can get, you know, a couple of employees in, and then, you know, it's not so much of an issue. It's not so heavily reliant on me. But at the moment, unfortunately, it is. So we've had a couple of call outs. I'm going to have to go home, get changed. All it does is give me a longer day, because once I've finished doing the jobs on the drainage van, I'm then going to have to catch up on anything JCD related. Luckily, we've just gone for a real busy period with the school holidays, and it does tend to sort of have a couple of weeks where it's a little bit more manageable and quieter. But it's still not the point. It's a little bit frustrating when you planned out a day, and it doesn't come to fruition. But you've got to be flexible, you've got to be agile when you're running a business, let alone two. So yeah, we'll head back up, we'll go grab the van, and then we're going to head out to a couple of jobs we've got. And of course, as always, I'm going to take you guys along for the journey with me. So let's go grab the van, and then we'll get going. Outfit change complete. I am now in my nice bright orange outfit, high vis with waterproofs on, ready for our drainage jobs. Changed out my nice branded Gymshark tracksuit, and yeah, so the first job we've got is down in Dover. We've got a residential block toilet for a letting agent that we do a lot of work with down that neck of the woods, sort of down towards the coast. So we're going to head down there. It's probably about a 40-minute drive, and then I have got another survey to do over in Alresford. So let's go grab a coffee in the local coffee shop first, and then we're going to head down to Dover and unblock this toilet. Can I have a bacon and hash brown baguette, please, mate? We have just arrived down at Dover. I've been to this particular project before, so I know the lie of the land here, which is always helpful. So we're going to go and get our boots on, and then we'll give the customer a knock and go and see what the problem is. So the customer, see, toilet is overflowing, and then the sink is also backing up when the toilet is flushed. So there's a manhole outside, which we're going to use here. So we'll try here to unblock it. Let's get some tools. So we've taken the manhole up. As you can see, we have a blockage. So what we'll do, we'll get the stuff out of the van and get it clear. Nosy. Nice and simple, the way we like it. Not all jobs are that quick, some are longer than others, but a nice simple one. So let's head over to Alresford now. We've got a little survey that we need to do with a potential repair. James has been to this job already, but I just need to go and double check what it needs in terms of repair. So we're going to jump back in the van and head all the way back to Alresford. We have just arrived down at Alresford in Kent. This is a particular job that James has been to. I've just come here just to double check over what the requirements are for a repair, because that's what James said it needed. So we've got a manhole outside, which is behind me here, and they've got a couple of leaks inside. So what we're going to do, we're going to get the camera out, have a look in this drain, and then we'll give a quote for the repairs that are needed inside. They're just general plumbing repairs inside, to be honest. Nothing too onerous, but they've got a couple of leaking joints. There's a waste trap that's leaking on the back of the toilet, and there's also a leaking urinal. So we'll give them a quote for that, but we're going to get the camera out, check the drains, and just make sure everything is okay with that. So we've surveyed the line, we've gone all the way to the main sewer, and interestingly, this is a first for me, as the connection was in the main sewer, there was a can. It looked like a lemonade can. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to take a picture of it. As I nudged it with the camera, it seemed to shoot off downstream in the mains. So I think that was what the issue was. This particular pipe doesn't need a repair. It's got a little displacement, but nothing that would cause any blockages in my eyes. I believe there was something further downstream that has caused the blockage, but as I mentioned, they've got a couple of plumbing issues, so we're going to take some pictures of that. I'll show you guys inside now what's going on, and then we will give the customer the news. I've resurveyed it and done a full report, so I can send that over to the customer with the footage so they can actually see what we mean. But yeah, it doesn't need a repair, which is good news for the customer. It saves them money. There's a couple of little bits of plumbing inside that we need to do, and we'll give them a quote for that. So yeah, nice and simple. So let's go inside, I'll show you guys what's up. So we have a leaking pan connector, which will need a replacement. 110mm leaking from the bottom. And a leaking urinal piece, which we will need to replace. So what we do, we will send both of these parts over to a landlord, give them a quote, and then he can make a decision whether he does the repairs. I imagine he will. They're relatively low impact, low cost to repair. So that wraps up this particular job. So we're going to head back in the van, and then we're going to head back to HQ. Good afternoon, team. It is now 4:30. As with the rest of this week, really, it didn't go to plan. I didn't end up heading back to JCD HQ. I actually went home, caught up on a few emails there, and now I've had a call. We are at one of our schools. This particular area is quite an affluent area of Kent. And as with most affluent areas, to recruit in these areas is ultra difficult, let alone get cover staff at last minute. So I've had a couple of people that have called in sick. Unfortunately, we have 4 cleaners at this school, 2 of which come in together. Normally, if one is sick, the other doesn't come in. Inconvenient, I know, but this is one of the things that we have to deal with on a daily basis in the cleaning industry that people don't see. So I'm over here, I'm meeting our operations manager. It's interesting with this particular topic about, even though we've got 100 staff, we do 7 figures in revenue. If it comes to a contract not being covered, I encourage our operations director, our senior management team, even myself, to come out to contracts to make sure they are covered, so we're not missing cleans. Anyway, here we are, we're at school, so we're going to go inside and we are going to get stuck in and get this school clean, regardless of what it takes. So let's jump out and get inside. So team, it is now 7:30 on Thursday evening. We've just finished doing the school. The guys have still got a little bit to do. It's a 3-hour shift here, 5 till 8. So the guys have got half hour more, but I finished up helping out, so I'm going to get off. That wraps up Thursday, guys, and tomorrow we are at a client meeting at 9:30 in the morning, and I'm going to catch up with one of our managers on one of our larger sites, and then the rest of the day I hopefully will be with Adam in the office discussing some content and hopefully putting some content down for you guys. That wraps up Thursday. I'll check you guys tomorrow. Good morning, gang. We made it to the end of the week. It is Friday. I am just down at JCD HQ. I am running a little bit behind schedule, but hey, living life on the edge. I've just quickly come down here. I've just got to grab a high-vis jacket, and then I am heading over to meet one of our senior managers at one of our larger sites, which, fortunate for me, time-wise, is literally just around the corner from the office. So I'm going to go and have a catch-up with Kevin at Knorth, one of our biggest sites, and then I am finally meeting Adam at the office to put down a few bits of content and just go through some strategy. Unfortunately, I haven't managed to catch up with him as much as I would like this week because we've been so busy on the drainage side of things. But have a catch up with Adam today, just discuss a few points, videos we're going to do next week, and then go from there. So let's jump back in the car and get to our 9:30 over with Kevin.
To share them, because if I share them, it has to benefit others.
Yeah, you have to have done, I guess, work on.
I have to do work and I'm happy to share stuff that's in my life if I believe that conversation, even if it's unresolved, has a benefit to others.
So I have just arrived back down at JCD HQ, and my time at our contract was a little bit more eventful than normal. We have a 9:30 client meeting there every Friday on a Friday. It's been cancelled the last few weeks as this particular client, they've got lots on and they just haven't had felt the need to have a meeting, which is a positive thing. It means everything must be going as it should. But after the meeting, me and the manager and one of the other employees were in the office, and one of the employees actually had a small seizure or fainted. I couldn't really tell as they were sitting down. Luckily, I am first aid trained, so we just made sure they were comfortable. They was only sort of having an issue for around 15 seconds. Always seems like an eternity when you have a medical issue like that. So it just brings back the importance, and it just made me think we need to have a couple more people on this particular contract first aid trained, because I knew what needed to be done, and the employee was taken home. Their car was left there. We'll arrange that another day to take them back. Luckily, they're only local. But yeah, you know, gave them a can of Coke just to give them some sugar in, and they said they felt a lot better, but we've obviously gave them the rest of the day off, and we'll check in with them. Adam's going to come down in a minute. We've got some bits and pieces to film, only a few bits and pieces. So it's been a bit of a reactive week this week, but that happens in business, and you know, that's something we've got to deal with as and when it comes up. But hopefully back to a little bit of normality next week, and we'll get round, and we've got some jobs that we've got to go and price, and we've also got some more contract walkarounds that I need to film with Adam, so we need to make some time for that. So we'll wait for Adam to get here and we'll see what the rest of the day holds. Hi, my name's Chris and we are JCD. In this week's episode, I'm unblocking drains, surveying drains and cleaning drains. Let's jump in to episode 3. I have just finished with our colleague Adam. We had to put down some intros for We Are JCD, which is what we'll be calling this series, giving you a behind the scenes look into how things are run at JCD and Greywater Drainage, both our businesses. Yeah, hopefully you'll find this content enjoyable, give you a bit of a behind the scenes look of how businesses run the day-to-day trials and tribulations of business that maybe you don't see because people generally put out on social media all the good stuff, and there is plenty of that, don't get me wrong, but there's also some stuff that is a pain in the ass. And this week has been a prime example of that, where I've had to be in a reactive state rather than proactive in terms of my time, which has resulted in long days, because when I get back in the evening from doing any grey water drainage stuff, operationally, I don't have to catch up on the day's happenings with JCD. So I'm going to stick down in the office for the rest of this afternoon. I've got lots of stuff to print out, or just general operational bits and pieces. That's going to wrap up Friday. I have, fortunately for me, just had a phone call from a potential customer who has got a warehouse floor that needs cleaning, and they are based on the Eurolink in Sittingbourne, which conveniently is where we are located. So I've told them I'm an address downstate and they're happy with me to pop round. So it is a 7-minute drive from where we are. I'm going to leave now anyway, as I try and pick my daughters up from school on a Friday. So it's around 2 o'clock. By the time I get over there, have a look round, I can then shoot over and go and pick my daughters up. So I'll take you along and let's go and have a look and see what this warehouse clean is about. So we've got this floor.
Yeah, now basically, all this lot here wouldn't be.
Okay, mate.
The cylinders down and around would
Yep,
be.
right.
But these ones are all going.
Okay.
So it would be a case of just getting around.
Get
the
what you can.
cylinders. Yeah.
Okay, mate.
It's really where the full truck goes.
Yeah.
I think it's what the main cause
Okay.
turns it up a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They'll come up nice, I reckon. With a nice floor machine over it. Okay, mate. Relatively simple. So just in this box. No problem. Right. So you want all these weeds?
Yeah, all removed.
All-
I don't know whether they can be sprayed off.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll take them out and then spray them and get rid of it. Okay, mate. So all the way along, all the way down to the end. Okay, mate. I can do that for you. Yeah. So just, I'll quote them separate though. So you got them. I'll do the floor and then here, and then you've got that. So I'll get that. Yeah, no, that'd be all right. We'll be able to get rid of that for you. Okay, mate. Yeah, yeah. No, it's nice to have one local. So yeah, thanks, Tim.
Cheers, Chris.
I'll get that over to you, buddy. Take care, mate. We have gone a short drive, 6 minutes to be exact, to a contract over in Sittingbourne. The guy called the office, and I was in the office. So I popped over. He's got a floor that he wants cleaned, which is relatively simple. A couple of guys for a day, and he has also got some grass area. So we'll get Tim a quote, and hopefully that'll be a job that we can take you guys along to. So that wraps up Friday and weekly episode 3. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next week.